There are days when you feel like life is moving, but you are standing still, watching the world flow past as if you're just a shadow in someone else's story. That quiet ache inside, the sense that something more is waiting, but you can't quite touch it. We all know that feeling, the weight of unfulfilled potential, the nagging thought that maybe this is all there is. But deep down, you know it isn't. You know that a single shift in perspective can change everything. The truth is, most of us live inside cages built from our own beliefs. We convince ourselves that we are who we've always been, that our mistakes define us, that our failures limit us, that we are somehow unworthy of more. But those thoughts are not facts, they are chains we've carried for too long. The moment you see that you are not fixed, that you are fluid, evolving, becoming, you begin to feel the door of that cage crack open. You are not a product of yesterday. You are the possibility of today. And once you've challenged those old beliefs, clarity begins to rise. Suddenly, you see how much of your life has been spent chasing what others expected instead of what your soul truly wanted. Imagine pausing long enough to ask, what do I actually desire? Not the safe answer, not the convenient one, the truth that makes your heart race. Because when you know what you want, when you see it clearly, your vision becomes a compass. You stop wandering aimlessly and start walking with intention. But vision without discipline is just a dream. This is where so many stop. They see the horizon, but they never build the bridge to reach it. Discipline is that bridge. Discipline is love translated into daily action. And when your vision connects to a deeper purpose, something larger than comfort or pride, it becomes almost impossible to quit. Purpose fuels discipline, and discipline turns vision into reality. Each small choice, each repeated effort, is a stone laid across the gap between where you stand and where you long to go. Of course, that path is never smooth. You will stumble, you will question yourself, you will wonder if the struggle is worth it. But resilience is born in those very moments. Action, even imperfect action, teaches us more than endless planning ever could. Every failure is not a dead end but a doorway into wisdom. Every fall sharpens your ability to rise. And the more you rise, the more unshakable you become. Along the way, gratitude transforms the climb. Gratitude softens the weight of struggle and turns every setback into a lesson worth holding. When you learn to pause and see the beauty in the mess, in the people, in the moments, in the fact that you are still here and still fighting, you shift from scarcity to abundance. You stop resenting the journey and begin cherishing it. Gratitude is not weakness. It is strength that keeps you grounded when the storm howls loudest. And as life twists and turns, adaptability becomes your ally. The path you imagine may not be the path you walk, but that doesn't mean you are lost. When you learn to bend without breaking, to adjust without abandoning your vision, you discover that change is not your enemy, it is your teacher. And in that space of adjustment, your inner voice grows louder. The voice that says, trust yourself. The voice that has always known your direction, even when the world shouted otherwise. Listening to that voice is the deepest form of freedom. So here we are, at the heart of it all, the realization that the greatest shift we can ever make is not in our circumstances, but in our mindset. When you see yourself not as a victim of life but as the author of your story, everything begins to change. The pain doesn't vanish, but it gains purpose. The obstacles don't disappear, but they become stepping stones. And the life that once felt distant suddenly feels within reach. This is the mindset shift that changed my story forever. The day I stopped believing I was powerless was the day my life began again. And the same is true for you. You do not need to wait for permission, or for the perfect moment, or for someone else to choose you. The power is already in your hands. Right now, you can decide to reset, to believe differently, to act courageously, and to write a new chapter. Your story is not finished, it is just beginning. And the world is waiting to read the pages only you can write.